Yo, what's good, everybody? I'm here today. This is my first video. I'm gonna be doing videos on sports and everything. I'm gonna be doing some debates with some live streams of question and answer. I'm gonna just be talking about some topics. And I rage a lot. I do rage a lot because I'm a very diehard fan for all my fan bases. I love USF. It's where my parents went to college. I grew up loving them. Um, and my dad was born in Michigan, so I'm a big Michigan fan. And then my dad grew up watching the Chicago Cubs, so we love the Cubs. Shout out to the 2016 World Series champs. And then, last but not least, probably who I'll talk about most on this channel is the Utah Jazz. If you want to know what an obsession is, that's me with the Utah Jazz. Like, literally, I love them so much. I'm obsessed with, like, all my teams. But, like, I talk about the Jazz the most because they're fun to talk about, and they're playing most year round. And I don't know, I just love talking about the Jazz. Like, there's just something to me that I just love it. So today, let's get started. We're going to talk about the MLB first and kind of free agency. So I know the biggest topic right now out in free agency is Bryce Harper and where will he go? I know I want him to go to the Cubs. I do not think that's going to happen now. And apparently there's rumors that he might even go to the White Sox, which was not even a consideration but before, apparently not. Like, I had not heard anything, but I just read an article said they lead, and he has an interview with the Phillies today. And then, of course, he's got the Dodgers. Now, the Dodgers are where I think he is going to land. You just saw what the Dodgers did. I mean, they traded Yasiel Puig. I forgot who else they traded. But I know they traded Yasiel Puig. And, man, I mean, dude, what a leap of faith right there that you're going to get Bryce Harper. Like, if they don't get Bryce Harper, I mean, seriously, why did you do that? Like, make a trade if you get him. Like, that's where I stand. Like, because you might not get him. That's where I think he'll go. Because it's L.A. Where do you want to go? The Phillies? The White Sox? To me, I feel like he wants to get a World Series, which is why he might go to the Cubs or the Dodgers. That's why. That's why I think those are the top two. I'm going to be interested to see how, the whole Phillies thing goes today. I mean, I'm surprised he's even taken the Phillies into consideration. Like, to me, that's just you're the great one of the greatest players ever, and you want to go to the Phillies. Like, that does not make sense to me. But it is what it is. And ultimately, it is his decision. I mean, I can tell that for him, it's the money. I mean, he turned down a 10-year, $300 million deal by the Washington. I mean, look, honestly, I don't care if I hate the place. Like, as a USF fan, I do not like UCF. But, if I got paid in 10 years, not paid. They offered me 10 years, $300 million. Of course, I would take that. Wait, I can't use that for college football. No, that wouldn't make sense. You don't get paid for college football. So stupid. So let me use a different example. The Jazz. So the Thunder are their rival. So I would, if the Thunder offered me that, and nobody else was offering me that, I'm gonna take that. That's 10-year, $300 million. You're set for life right there. I mean, and he was guaranteed a lot of them. I just don't get it. I would have taken the deal. It's crazy. So, comment down below where you think Bryce Harper is gonna end up. Phillies, White Sox, Cubs, Dodgers, or if you have anywhere else in mind, is he gonna go to the? I don't know. I mean, he could go anywhere, really. I mean, he's not gonna go to the Yankees, because they have Aaron Judge. But I mean, you never know. Maybe he's gonna surprise us. I mean, maybe he go somewhere nobody expected. I mean, there's always that possibility. But I mean, you never know. I mean, he's best friends with Chris Bryant. Another reason he might go to the Cubs. If you didn't know, they hung out on New Year's Eve together, Bryce Harper and Chris Bryant. And I remember earlier that they went to, like last season, they went to a Las Vegas Knights game together. So, I mean, I think they have a good friendship. And if Bryce Harper does decide to go to the Cubs, that is a big reason why. A big reason. So, I'm going to lay it out. I think Bryce Harper is going to land at the Dodgers. And then, if that happens, I think it's going to be the same. I honestly do think it's going to be, if that happens, it'll be the Yankees and Dodgers. But if he goes to the Cubs, I think it'll be the Cubs. I really do think, that it'll be the Cubs or Dodgers. Again, I do. I mean, both are going to have great seasons. The Cubs really choked at the end of the season last year. The Dodgers lost 2 straight World Series. I think there's a lot of pressure riding on those teams going into the year. For the Dodgers, can they finally win the World Series and not lose? And for the Cubs, this is Joe Maddon's last year on his contract. So, is he done after this year? If we don't go to the playoffs this year, get another wild card loss, he might not come back next year. I'm just saying, I want him there. I do. But just because it's the Cubs, we screw up. So, we'll probably, we probably won't sign him again. But I feel like the Dodgers need it more than the Cubs do. I do. I feel like the Dodgers need to win the World Series more than the Cubs do. I think, for now, obviously, you want to win the World Series. Your team. You want your team to win the World Series. For the Cubs fans, you won in 2016. You're good for a couple years. You're so when you lose in the playoffs, what I do is we won in 2016. It's all good, it's all right, But when the Dodgers win, you haven't won a World Series in a little bit. You've gone twice in a row. You've had the opportunity to win some games that you just let slip away from you. I mean, you can't do that. I mean, in Game 5, right? I think it was Game 5. It was Game 4. When the series was 2-1. It was 2-1. So they have a chance to tie the series up. It's a whole new series. They're up 3-0 in the 7th. You have to win that game. I mean, you have to win that game. And that's why the Dodgers need to win this World Series, because if they don't, let's say they do go to the World Series again and lose again, that's just question marks all over. How? I mean, I get how, but you cannot lose 3 World Series in a row. We're not trying to be like the Buffalo Bills back in the 1990s, losing 4 in a row. If you're going to get there this year, you need to win. Because at some point, Clayton Kershaw is going to hit his end. He's not going to be the pitcher he is right now. If you don't get Bryce Harper, I mean, you can obviously still make the World Series, but you got to build around that. And that trade is going to hurt. But I honestly am going to make my prediction right now. I do think it'll be the Dodgers in the World Series. And I think if they get Bryce Harper, they're going to win the World Series this year. But if they lose, I don't know. I mean, because haven't won in the last 2 years, so there's nothing for me to say, oh, well, they're going to win this year. I know it. Like, I know they can win in those types of games when they haven't proven it. You know, they couldn't win the thriller in Game 5 against Houston. You know, they couldn't win the Game 7. They cannot maintain a 3-0 lead in the 7th inning in Game 4. A game that would have tied the series up. And it's a whole new series when it's 2-2. 3-1 is totally different than 2-2. Your mindset's different. I mean, it's totally different. Alright, well, that's the end of today's video. I'm going to be posting every single day, or at least I'll try to. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And I'll see you guys later.